I'm going to do part one of this video again. It just stopped recording at one point and then didn't upload, so I'm just going to redo this. I've got part two, so I'll kind of stop it where I kind of started the second part of the video again. So first thing we always have to remember is we need to include our comments at the beginning with our the name of the author, the date. Let's try a second. And then we put a description of what the program will do. And so what does this program do? We're asked to write a password checker. Your password checker will first ask for a password, then repetitively or repeatedly ask the user to guess at the password. When the user types the same password, acknowledge that the right password was provided. So really, this is be similar to when you change your password or when you put in when you generate a password, create a new password. It'll ask you for the password, and then it'll ask you for to put the password in again to make sure that you've actually properly put in the password, that you know what it is. So this will ask for your password and then ask again and repeatedly ask until you enter the correct password. And so I put that across multiple lines just because it was so long. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to maybe I'll let the user know what's going to happen. Hello? Okay. Set phone call. So, okay, so I will ask for a password and then ask you to verify that password. Ends in quotation, ends in brackets, so that should work. Just gonna run this. No, I'll run it again. Error, running code, handshake error. All right, so it seems to be an issue with the Replit. I'm just gonna refresh my browser and try running it now. You'll notice that I run my code a lot just to make sure that I've made any errors, that everything's working the way I would expect it to work. All right, so it printed out correctly. So now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to ask the user for the password. I might as well store that in a variable called password. Checking that it's not a reserved word in Python, it's black, so that it didn't come up like as a blue word, which are the reserved words. So I'll say password is equal to. So I run the input function and I say what is the password. I like to add a space at the end of my inputs for readability when the program runs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check, I'm going to constantly run a loop around. So it's a continuous loop until something happens. So it's not a counted loop. It's not a counted loop, which we say if I know 3 times or 7 times, that we would use a for loop for that. That's a counted loop. This is it's a conditional loop. It happens until something happens. So I'm going to say while true, colon at the end. Everything gets indented inside of this will be repeated. So I'm going to say, I'll grab another input to verify the password. So this will be verify. It will be the variable. I'm going to say input. Please verify your password. Okay, so now I'm going to check to see if verify is equal to, remember for comparison purposes, when we're comparing two variables, it's double equals. If verify is equal to password, that means they put in the correct password, colon. So if that's true, I'm going to break out of my loop and this code will stop executing. But if it wasn't true, then I'm going to let the user know saying, please try again. The passwords don't match. So I'm going to try running this to see what happens. What is the password? I'll say the password is hello. Please verify your password. Bye. Please try again. The passwords don't match. Please verify your password. I'll say hop. Please try again. The passwords don't match. Please verify your password. If I say hello now, program stop. But what I'm supposed to do is acknowledge that the right password is provided. So that's going to happen outside of my while true statement. So I dedent to get outside of my loop. Now I'm going to say print successful verification. Okay, I'll just run that one more time, make sure it works. What's the password? Let's say it's hi. Try buy, B-U-Y, B-Y-E. Doesn't match. And now I'll say hi this time. Successful verification. Something I'd like to do, please try again, the passwords don't match. I'm going to add an extra space at the end of that. And so there's a hidden character that I can add called a new line. Backslash is called the escape sequence. It allows me to put in special characters, of which N stands for new line. So now when I run it, it just gets spaced a little bit better. Password is hi. Please verify your password. Hi. And now it's giving me a space between those lines. Okay. And then it says do not use an if statement. So the problem here is that I've used the if statement here. So I think I'll get into this in the second video. So you can continue to watch the second video to see how I get around using the if statement.